Okay. All right. So they say cancel culture doesn't work, but one person that's been canceled, Kanye West, been canceled. I don't care what nobody says.
Kanye West is a billionaire. I mean, look. Listen to music. Don't listen to music. The music don't go away. Uh, disagree with them, agree with them. Look, man, I say this, and I've been saying this for years about Kanye West. We said on the podcast like 5-6 years ago. We was with Virtual Reality Caravan. God, listen to the music. You like somebody's art, listen to them for the art. And I there's whole conversations about whether you can separate the art and the music and da 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 da. Look, man, I love Beyonce. If Beyonce was doing a paper on like metaphysics and time travel, I probably wouldn't listen. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be like, God, I go to Beyonce for the entertainment aspect, and that's not to say that an artist can't talk about other stuff. Like I love David Banner. Well, we're gonna talk about him later on too. I love David Banner. David Banner talks about music, but he's also shown that he's educated in other aspects of culture and just in terms of knowledge. So that's why I'll listen to him on that. But that man, look, man, if Ice Spice come up to me talking about, let me tell, I came here for the music. So that's pretty much what we get into. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, they took 140 million from this nigga. I'm sorry, this nigga canceled.
You
Like they
take 140. You don't take 140 million from people. You took it's like realized income. Like it's not like rich people ain't sitting on 140 million. They sitting on 140 million. It's like Elon Musk. That man don't have like he ain't going to a room and looking at all his money. He's sitting on credit. He's sitting on the value. He's sitting on what it's worth. I'm not saying that's not a hit. What I'm saying is Kanye using 140 million is not the same as me losing $800. You know what I'm saying? Like if I lose $800, it's gonna hurt me. You know what I'm saying? There are other people that are like, dog, I can't lose $80. It's gonna hurt me. Kanye West, he was like, y'all are dog. That you got friends in your friend list that can't afford to lose nothing. And you commenting like, "Oh, Kanye West lost 140
can't
million."
afford to lose nothing, nigga.
Kanye
I
West
can't
woke
afford to
up,
lose nothing.
and Kanye West woke up with a personal chef. Kanye West got that. Dog, I ain't even worried about it. Dog. You know who ain't worried about it either? Kanye West. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say about that, man.
Hey man, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I see you. I'm over here just, trying to push the envelope and push the conversation rather. And you over here protecting the black man. You know why? You know why.
Why?
Because you're black and ugly as ever. However, I stay used to down to my side. Oh yes, it's them again. It's them boys, them brothers from In My Humble Opinion podcast. I'm Avery, like a very nice guy. Ding. You can find me at THEE_AVERY, and I'm Vince McMahon's part 2. The second one, I got hacked. We covered that. And also, I'm with my brother over here, Just Devon, ladies and gentlemen. Just Devon.
How's it going? How's it going?
Yeah, it's a good day. Good day. Where can they find you at, Just Devon?
Dr. Douglas on pretty much everything. I think it's Just Devon on Twitter. I'm not famous. It's been, I'm not.
Neither one of us.
Like it is what it is.
Neither one. Oh, look at me, fucking up the flow. Neither one of us are famous at all. Our next guest is pretty famous though. All right, because rap is multifaceted, right? It's just like movies. Okay, you have action movies like Fast and Furious. You have comedy movies like whatever Kevin Hart and The Rock do. And you have those great thought-provoking deep movies like Boys in the Hood, Pursuit of Happiness, Requiem for a Dream. All are great. All movies are different. That's the way that me personally, I look at rap. All right. Lyricism is like the thought-provoking movies like Boys in the Hood, Set It Off, Rosewood, and of the like. Okay, the first time, me personally, I remember hearing this gentleman. All right, was with Slim Thug of the Boss Hog Outlaws. But a song that stuck out to me in 2011 was White Cups. Okay, he said, "I'm gonna try this. Y'all know me. Flipping fishing for boppers, my nigga. So hand over her, leaning like I took the top off of a can opener." All right. Those two lines made me throw the CD out the window on 59, go in my room, and hide under the covers because the beast was clearly loose. All right. Who raps like that? Who has clear ideas like that? The alliteration, the metaphors, I couldn't believe it. All right. Okay. An intelligent thug that can lead people with his words. And one of the most thought provoking entities on IG. He's funny as hell on IG. All right. Kill Bill, Mike Jordan, run it. He went from rapping to rapping a brick. I'm sorry, he went to rapping from rapping
I
brick.
was about
Killa
to say
Kyleon. I was
reverse.
like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? But he went to rapping from rapping bricks. Killa Kyleon, ladies and gentlemen. Killa Kyleon.
What's good, boss man? How you doing?
Well, good. Happy to have you here, brother.
How are you doing? How are
Right
you
on,
doing
right
today?
on. Man, I can't complain. Ain't nobody gonna listen.
So right.
All right.
Nobody gonna listen. I damn sure ain't.
Hey, look, for our show, we like to go back. We really like to focus on music and you are artists. We've opened up with Kanye once we talk about music and controversy. You are an artist that's been able to speak your mind and also like be able to rap at such a high level where even people that don't like you are like, yeah, but he can rap. Like, there's no getting around it. They will not take that away from you.
Definitely.
And you stand in the middle ground of a lot of places. Mainly, we saw you at a Classroom Concerts a long time ago, and this was you going back and talking about your past, and
Definitely.
really this kind of bridge that you play between that, like you are as old school as it gets, and you are also as new school as it gets. Let's go back to the beginning and just talk about your start in rap in general and just in music and what attracted you to it.
Right on. Pretty much, man. What attracted me when I knew exactly what I was gonna be and what I wanted to do is the first time I looked at Dr. Dre and Ed Love on Yo MTV Raps. The first time I looked at Chris Thomas and I seen what they were putting out into the world, and I knew from right then like I wasn't from this planet when it comes to this. That it was music. I always been my first love. You know, music was a real big part of my life as a young man growing up, and pretty much, man, my introduction of me being around so much, like it's crazy growing up on both sides of Houston. My dad coming from South Park, my mom coming from Trinity Garden, and going back and forth, starting to pay attention to my surroundings. One of my big brother actually and my uncles and my cousins, Fat Pat and Hawk stayed right around the corner.
Mhm.
My uncle Ron G was over dead in Rutgers. I seen them every day. Go to the north side, I'm around D and Trinity Garden Cartel, Slaughter and Trinity Garden Cartel, the whole street military. I'm around this shit like every day. Being one of my best friends in high school, Frank Nitty, who taught me how to write my raps, taking it from my brain to the actual pad. He was signed to Rap a Lot at the time, with the group Fifth Ward Juveniles.
Yep.
So growing up in this, in all of this, it was inevitable. You know what I mean? Like I would get around it, but the catch 22 of that shit, it was like I had it on my mind. I wanted to be better than everything in my surroundings. So, you know, basketball was my first love too, that I switched back and forth. I kind of played tennis with that and rap. And I treated rap just like a basketball game, any other pickup game. You know, my first time ever getting in the studio was with a homeboy of mine, B Down, and my homeboy Big Nuke. They had Quarter Pound Records. In the hood, right by my cousin's house in Shady Timbers, they had a studio. And I would go in the studio. That's my first time even learning how to operate in the studio. So that's an advantage that I had because I always knew time was money. See, back in the day, studio time was anywhere from $100 to $200 an hour.
Yeah.
Shit wasn't cheap. Not like how technology is now. So I would have it on my mind that anytime a beat come on and I had the spotlight, I'm gonna be ready to rock and roll. Anytime, being that I was always ready to rock and roll and I did homework and I never really wrote the beats and I still don't really write the beats at this point in time now. Like I don't really write at all. I just transfer shit into my iPhone notes because I got so much shit going on in my brain. So I'm saying all that to say this. Me understanding studio time was super high. Within that 1 hour, I had to get my shit off. And I would come in there, and that's how I learned to do one takes in that son of a bitch. I'm gonna come in there, I'm gonna do everything I need to do within that 1 hour. Fast forwarding from that, learning the studio, learning my way around the studio, me having to leave from the north, going to school, go back home to the south side and dead end. And inside my grandmother's garage was like the hub. Everybody from the south side would come through there, you know. Reason why, that's some whole other undisclosed shit. But yeah, like that was the hub. And so everybody knew me. Not only did I rap, I draw, I paint, I do graffiti, all that shit. So that was my introduction around the Screwed Up Click and going to Screw's house before I even knew and seen any rappers. You know what I mean? I used to give and do drawings and paintings and shit for Screw, and he'd put them over his turntables. So my uncle Ron was like, "Damn, this little nigga can rap," and I'm like, "Yeah, I can actually rap, cause this shit that I see y'all doing, this ain't rapping to me."
So
And that's how I feel.
that's the other thing, because I love when you were talking to your classroom concerts where you're like, I was not listening to the people down here.
I
I was
wasn't.
trying to
I
rap.
never did.
So
Yeah, I never did.
yeah, talk about that.
The one person that I always felt like was three that I felt like that was in the city that was really consciously and lyrically above everybody was Face
Yeah.
and Bun. You know what I mean? Face, Bun, them niggas like lyrically was on a whole nother planet to me. You know what I mean? And them niggas that I seen, you know, constantly. You know what I mean? I seen them niggas as well growing up a lot. I seen, you know, Face from South Acres and South Park in the dead end. The village was a block away from my dad's house. You know what I mean? Right off of Fairgreen, Mad Lane, and all that shit. So I would see Face a lot because I would see Troy a lot. All of the big dogs and shit, I would see these niggas a lot. So it's like whenever I got my chance for them niggas to hear me, I'm gonna be prepared at all times. Like I'm gonna be ready to get that shit off at all times. Because me seeing like from the essence of real rap, me appreciating East Coast rap, me appreciating real rapping, I knew that's how I wanted to get my shit off. When they ever see me, I'm like, I'm gonna work hard to them niggas like notice me type shit.
Okay,
And
but
so yeah.
I'm just saying, outside of the city, who was you listening to though?
Oh, everybody from NY, me listening to like Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, me listening to all of the West Coast shit, me listening to NWA, listening to Q, listening to Spice One. It just go on and on. But East Coast was really my biggest influences. You know what I mean? Listening to Tribe Called Quest, the Native Tongues, listening to Cool G Rap, Poe Righteous Teachers, X Clan. The list go on, bro. Like
Excellent. Yeah.
I was really into all this shit. Like back when rap it would play all sides. It was genres in rap where you had to be conscious. Rap had a message. You had to be lyrical. You had to know how to formulate on the beat, all that shit. Them was the niggas I was listening to. You know what I mean? Like when I would look at Yo MTV Rap, see the way niggas dress, see the way niggas get off on the mic, all that shit, like that shit. Looking at Cool J getting in shape, all that shit, targeting the females. I put all that gumbo into my recipes.
Okay.
Ah. So then I guess my thing is, what was one of the major things that kind of it you also still remained in the city? Like you're still like, I'm still Houston. There was never a
Oh,
I gotta go to New York, I gotta go to Los Angeles, I gotta go. So what was it that really kept you a part of the city and said, yo, I'm gonna do this lyrical thing, but I'm gonna do it here?
you got to think, bro. The guy that's if you look at everybody top five, right? And everybody top five, they favorite rapper is Scarface.
Mm,
Yeah.
right.
Tupac, favorite rapper Scarface. Nas, favorite rapper Scarface. Jay-Z, favorite rapper Scarface. DMX, favorite rapper Scarface. I can keep it going. That's a Texas nigga. You know what I mean? And looking at in the way Face poetically put words and shit together, I will go visit these places. I will hit the road, go to these places, and try to connect with as many people as I can. Being in the mixtape circuit, it allowed me to do that. But at the same time, I wanted them niggas know, just like Outkast, and shout out to them niggas, because that Outkast and Goody Mob, them some of the niggas that I felt like lyrically was out of this world at the time. You know what I mean? Growing up. So it's like, nigga, I don't have to leave where I'm at. I can represent where I'm at and show them niggas just like y'all up there, because the arrogance too. I wouldn't even say the arrogance, the confidence that them niggas had of knowing that they were better than a lot of niggas lyrically and putting words together. I knew in time that shit'll catch up. You know what I mean? Because one thing about it, two things for sure. If you master your craft, you can't be fucked with 100%. And that's what I always did. I'm always sharpening my sword, no matter what. And to maintain relevancy within that shit is you got to stand the test of time. I watch Hove do that. I watched so many niggas that stood the test of time and still killing niggas to this day. Hove is the epitome of that shit, and that's why he my favorite rapper.
Mm. Mm. So I guess the other thing too about that is because I liken you to we've interviewed Propane.
Yeah.
You guys kind of come about it where it's I think the both of you kind of come about it where it's like whatever I do, I'm gonna be the best at it. Like I said, Propane also talked about sports as well, and he was like, "Dog, I was doing sports. I was gonna be the best at it." And then they was like, "You can rap," and he's like, "All right, well, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be the best at it."
100%.
There has been coming up being here. Uh, has there ever felt like you were kind of out of place in Houston, where it's like, all right, I'm rapping, I got this lyricism thing going. Did you see other lyricists starting to bubble up? Are you seeing that change as the
Yeah.
city has progressed, or has it been like, all right, I do this here, this is my style, and other people kind of, they just lay back?
Nah, they've always been here. It's always been lyricists here.
Okay.
Always. You know what I mean? Even within the screwed up clique, you look at
Yeah.
Hawk, you look at Pokey. I come up around Pokey. I'm a part of mob style with Pokey. Pokey was one of the most vicious niggas with a microphone. You know what I mean? You listen to Street Military, you listen to Pharaoh. He one of the most lyrical motherfuckers on planet Earth. It's so many. Raheem from Rap a Lot, lyrical. K Reno, South Park, super lyrical. You know what I mean? It always was here. You know, shout out Pro, lyrical as fuck. It's so many of them here. You know, a lot of niggas within my crew. You know what I mean? We focused on that. But the thing is, you can have a good 16, but if you can't formulate that shit into a song, it means nothing. Like I say, it's a whole repertoire you gotta have. You just can't be lyrical. The shit gotta make sense, because being lyrical, you can see now that shit really don't hold much weight as jamming and just being on the beat type shit. Me, I want to be on the beat, be lyrical. I want to have the whole goddamn repertoire. I gotta be a fully loaded vehicle. Like anybody can go get the Benz and just say you got a Benz, but if that motherfucker ain't a G63, you got the little boy shit, and it don't even matter. You know what I mean? You got to be a fully loaded vehicle. You got to have the look. You got to have the voice. You got to have the whole kit together.
So how did you become a fully loaded vehicle? Because I remember back then, you were a heavier dude, but now look at you now. You look like you could beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, but shit, even when I was a big boy, I was still that nigga. That's the
Yeah.
thing. You know what I
Oh yeah.
mean? I was still that nigga in my mind. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't think you self-love is very important in this shit. Confidence is very important in hip hop, bro. If you don't think you the shit, ain't nobody else gonna think you the shit. If you
Facts.
don't carry yourself, and that's what a lot of niggas disliked about me is my confidence. Like, I don't give a fuck who in the room. When I come in the room, that shit gonna shift. It's gonna be like that. You know what I mean? And then this shit competition with me. That's why I name my shit Mike Jordan, and that's why I call myself the GOAT, the greatest of all Texans. And I'm gonna stand on that shit because I'm gonna be prepared for that shit at all times. Because I was the nigga when I was looking at TV, the nigga Jay-Z was talking about with that bowl of cereal coming for him. I'm still eating that bowl of cereal. I'm
Blueprint.
still sharpening my sword. I'm still feeling like Bron in year 20. I still feel like that.
Okay, but like, but when it comes to fitness, how did you embark on fitness though?
It's the same approach. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, you gotta look. Being being chunky and funky ain't never good. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Being healthy, and then not only that, losing so many people in my family to cancer,
Mm.
understanding that food is the enemy. You know what I mean? And then wanting to be able to live for my kids. I got 4 kids. I got to be here for them. You know
Congratulations.
what I mean? Yeah, appreciate that. I gotta live for my kids. I want to see my kids, but also to be in this game. Everybody try to put an age bracket on it, but being youthful, being able to compete, you gotta act like Brady and Braun. You gotta take care of your body to be able to compete. Getting on them shows and performing, getting in that booth and having breath control, all that shit got to do with your health. If you unhealthy, you're not gonna make it, period.
Hmm. When
And
you
so
go,
looking in that mirror, I was my own. I even write raps in the mirror, bro. Like I'm my only competition in my eyes. So it's me against me. So when I'm in the gym, I approach that just like rap. It's me against me. I'm trying to be a better me.
That's good, man. That's positive.
when you go back, I mean, looking back, because we ask all of our guests this, and as they're getting started out, at a certain point, uh, you got to decide, hey, I'm gonna do music full time. Like
Yeah.
this is me. This is what it's gonna be. Uh, at what point did you make the decision that you were gonna do music full time, and then at what point were you like, all right, this is paying off. Like this is working for me.
20 years ago. I
20
knew that
years ago.
shit. Like I had a job in 22 years.
Hmm.
I haven't worked for nobody in 22 years.
What was your last
I
job?
mean, I always had good jobs. I was a civil engineer on my grandfather and my uncle's company,
Huh.
ATS Consultants.
That's good.
Mhm. Yeah, I had damn good jobs, even from school, and I hustled. So you know what I mean.
That's a
Yeah.
I
great.
was a nigga. I was determined. You
Yeah.
know, I tell a lot of people this rap shit ain't cheap. A lot of niggas like focus on looking like the rapper, but financially, a lot of niggas do a bunch of crime because they can't invest in themselves. They ain't got no money to put behind themselves, so they be waiting on sugar daddies and big brothers and shit to help them put out the music. Not me. No, I
No,
always knew I had to have a strong hustle. I was always big on fashion, always big on the look, but also having to fund myself and invested in myself. Because if I didn't believe in me, how would another person believe in me?
Okay. All right.
absolutely, absolutely. What is it like as well too? Like, I mean, we're gonna get into the album, but one of the main things, uh, we've heard so many artists, not just Houston artists, but just artists in general, uh, speak about you with such critical acclaim. We were talking to Zero the other day, and he was like, "Look, I'm not as cool as Slim, but I'm Zero. I can't out rap Killa Kyleon." Hey, I was just like, "Yeah." He goes, "Nah." He goes, I'm not,"
Damn, no shit.
and
Yeah.
that was his thing.
Hearing,
He goes, "But
hearing
I,"
that from one of the greatest rappers ever, and that's one of the most lyrical niggas ever.
and
And if
that's
I
one of
left
the
out
big
my
things.
brother, that nigga there, bro, ain't no my nigga. This nigga went to the rodeo, one of the biggest stages in Houston history,
Oh yeah,
in front of 70,000 people. 70,000.
Mhm.
The whole motherfucking NRG arena was rapping Mo City Don
oh
freestyle.
yeah. That was a breathtaking show. Like there was no the
I
second.
was mad. I didn't even get to go. I was mad. I didn't even get to go. I was hot. I was livid.
You weren't
I
even
was
in the
livid.
crowd?
I wasn't even in the crowd, my boy. I wasn't
Man.
even in the crowd. But to hear about it and just know, man, shout out Rotha, man. Like one of my and niggas usually thinking me and Ro was beefing and all that shit. Me and Ro before Slim and Ro did they project, we was finna do the boss. We was finna do the King and the Killer.
That's
Hmm.
real.
We actually got records recorded for that shit. I got so many records with Ro that's recorded, man. And anytime I need them and my new project, bro, that I'm dropping after this one, Ro on that motherfucker. Man, shout out Ro, bro. To hear that man say that, bro, that's the reason why I rap. I rap for everybody that I idolize and I felt like was them niggas to say that. Once
Plus,
I know they saying that shit,
yeah.
that mean everything.
Plus to piggyback on my brother's impending question. I mean, even Scarface shot you out on
Yeah.
drink champs.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, he
realest
called me baby. He called me baby goat.
shit.
He called me the baby goat.
which is just not only that, uh David Banner has always been intricately involved in Houston. And at his album, he had an album release party here. He shouted you out, and then he showed up to, I guess, to surprise you at your album
Yeah.
release party. What is
Yeah,
that? First of all, what were you thinking when he walked in? And talk about that relationship you got with David Banner.
that's actually my mentor and my big brother. A lot of people don't know. That's somebody that's real instrumental outside of the rap. He instrumental in my life. Like he changed my thought process on a lot of things. He didn't really change it. He added to it. You know what I mean? From that mental aspect, me being very vocal, me not being scared to express myself, but intelligently. You know what I mean? I don't just speak off the fly. Like I'm the type of guy, bro. And Big Brother came into my life and added to it to where it's cool to not give a fuck, but when you don't give a fuck, know why you don't give a fuck and have an articulate way of articulating that shit with common sense and intelligence. You know what I mean? And he just did what a big brother always do. And anytime I ever needed him, he come running. And he's so instrumental in my life, bro. Shout out to my big brother David, bro. I
Hmm.
love that nigga like he came my mom.
And my thing is too, it's like you said, he was teaching you, just giving you guidance and mentorship. Because in your younger days, it was a lot more. People would associate you with being okay. He's a hothead. He gonna speak his mind. That's it. You know what I mean?
Nah,
What was
nah,
it?
go ahead.
No, 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 no. I'm about to say, do you
Yeah.
feel? Because I said we've kind of asked from talking to Zero and talking to different people that have been involved, they've all kind of said the same thing just about themselves. Hey, man, I was falsely characterized. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Zero's like, dog, I'm a nice guy, but I'm just not weird. Like, y'all want me to be weird. So he goes, that's why y'all be like, yeah, I'm an asshole, but I'm not an asshole like y'all think. It's different. So my whole thing is with you, do you feel like you were kind of falsely characterized the early part of your career, or were you like, hey, man,
I
people
can
being fair?
I can tell you what my problem was. Niggas didn't even know me and had niggas didn't know me personally and had a personal opinion about me.
Huh.
I was just very grounded on knowing my value and knowing my self-worth. That's
Mm.
just all that was. Like I'm the nigga, I didn't do shit for free. Still don't do shit for free. You know what I mean? I feel like me knowing I felt like I was that nigga already. I came into that note. If I didn't feel like I was that nigga, like I stated earlier, nobody did. So niggas mistaking my arrogance for confidence. I already had my own bag. I
Mhm.
had that already. I hustled for that. I already worked on my craft enough to where I didn't never want to be around the low level niggas and the niggas in the BC and D's. I wanted to be around the A niggas. I wanted to be around the big dogs. So I carried myself like a big dog to be a big dog.
Hmm.
I manifested I manifested my spot. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And every time that I put myself on that pedestal, I put myself up there. I ain't never let a nigga put it up there. I work for my position, and a lot of niggas would feel like, man, that nigga always talking shit. No, I'm not an idealist. I'm a realist. I don't deal in hypothetics. I don't deal in theories and none of that shit. My grandmother always told me, when you open your mouth, know what you talking about and have something to say. And it's like every time it was a topic to speak on, I would know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I got the receipts to match it. I'm a reader and a leader. I never wanted to be the follower, bro. Never. I ain't never. If I don't stand on side my niggas, I'm not standing behind you.
That's
None
real.
of that. Never. Because I felt like I was equivalent to everything else, and that's what bothered niggas.
Okay,
Okay.
but speaking on that too, like, how did you even get how did you hook up with Slim Thug then?
So how that went? I said me and Poke had this group that I was a part of that he created called Mob Style, which consisted of me, Chris Ward, my partner Reed, Coates, and D1. Chris Ward had a relationship with Slim. I've seen Slim around and all that being on the north side, and everybody that he was around had mutual friends around him. But at this time, they was hearing about me and what I had going on, and he was like, man, tell Killer to come through. I know you rock with Killer and shit. I had it on my mind. That's a nigga I wanted to be around. That was a nigga that had motion. And the thing was, having some motion in this business, I want to be wherever the motion is. And
Mhm.
and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna approach it just like Bron. If I'm trying to win, I'm gonna put myself in the winning situations. A lot of niggas, I tell niggas when niggas, and like I said, I compare shit to basketball so much. It's a lot of niggas don't like Bron because of that. Nigga, I like to win. I'm not here just sitting on no team that ain't ran by no niggas, that's ran by them folks. and finna just sit around and let them spoon feed me shit. Nah, I'm finna go get this chip. And I looked at that situation like that, like we get together, we gonna be unfuckwittable. And the first time I went over there and opened my mouth, it was a sealed deal. You know what I mean? That's how I even got my name Killer. I got that from Slim.
Hmm.
The Kyleon came from Screwed Up Click. My name Kyle. So my uncle Ron, Mike D, and Pokey named me Kyleon, like Michael Corleone.
Ah, okay, okay.
And so when I went over there with Slim, I was just Kyleon. If you go look back at Hawk's second album, I'm featured on there, and my name Kyle on there. A lot of niggas don't even know that. You know, I've been in motion with this shit, and I'm on that rapping my ass off. You know what I mean? Even on Pokey shit, I was Kyle or Kyleon on Pokey album with Rick Shop. Then you go back and you fast forward when I got around Slim, either I killed the beat or I killed somebody in the rap, and he gave me the name Killer.
That's real. Named by legends, both names.
Yeah, for sure. Named by legends to be legendary. That shit saying something. And I stuck with that. Like I wanted them niggas to know that I was that nigga, and I wanted to be able to represent being that nigga well. So every time I rap like it's my last rap.
That's really how it is. You also have this high. I mean, look, my only issues with you is that you're not a Rockets fan.
That's tough.
You know what?
Can't do it.
The only thing that makes me
this,
mad. The only thing that makes me mad about you is when
that make everybody that make everybody mad. But like I say, I got the facts to bag it up.
And that's what makes me mad. That's what makes me mad. I don't respond to it. I don't respond to it. I was like, he's right.
Listen, I can't sit on no sinking ship. I ain't never been this fan. Like the 2 years that they won, I feel like them niggas only won there because Jordan sat down. I've always been a Jordan fan.
I mean, hey, look.
I've always been a Jordan fan.
Yeah.
I've always been a Jordan fan.
You was Jordan fan too.
100% that.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't watching. I had to watch Rockets games. I felt like Dream one of the baddest motherfuckers ever. I didn't watch him because I wanted to. I watched him because shit, I had to. Everybody in my family is pro Houston shit. They not even loyal to their fans. Them niggas took a whole championship team and traded that bitch for Barkley, a nigga they was beating.
Yeah, on, right.
And they recycled that process every time.
Oh man.
Every time they recycle that process. The fuck I'm gonna sit on the sinking ship for every time. And the nigga know they gonna lose. And me watching LeBron since 7th grade, since he was in 7th grade, I've been watching LeBron. I've been a LeBron fan ever since.
Yeah.
I just recognize greatness. I just see greatness. I like winning. Cheering for them niggas and them Texans and all that shit. That shit like being in a bad relationship, knowing your bitch cheating and you stay.
No, you
doing that shit.
Not one Houston team you like.
I fuck with the Stros, but I don't want to sound like no bandwagoner. Yeah. They the most consistent. Yeah. I fuck with them because they the most consistent. And I'm a Houstonian, you know what I mean? Football, anywhere Brady go, that motherfucker go to China. I'm gonna be a China fan.
Greatest QB of all time ever. So I feel
I've been down with him since Drew Bledsoe got out the win game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then I can relate to that nigga story. You know, that nigga come out in the last round. That nigga wasn't supposed to be who he was. You know what I mean?
And
even with LeBron.
You know what? Talk about that. Talk about you relating to Brady, talking about coming out in the last round. How does that apply to you?
I mean, coming from where we come from, bro, we wasn't never supposed to make it. You know, that's why I say the ghetto is an experiment. You know what I mean? It was an experiment. And that's on paper. That's real too. But coming from the environments we come from, it wasn't designed for us to make it. It was designed for us to lose. In every which part of the way. Me looking at Rev City, me looking at BET and cable all my goddamn life. I made sure I'm gonna be where I'm at in life. I made damn sure, and it's not over. It ain't over to the most high say the clock to the clock hit 000. I'm not stopping. You know what I mean? I look at so many things and movies and all that, and I take catchphrase out of everything. Like Rick and Bobby say, if you ain't first, you last. I want to be the first in everything. And not on no soldier boy shit, but me just trying to be the best at everything I'm doing. And with this, I took this shit so seriously that I wanted everybody that I looked up to coming up, I wanted them niggas to acknowledge the fact that I'm one of the ones. You know, two of my real close friends is Jada Kiss and Fabulous.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And them niggas is two in my top 5.
Yeah.
And I got 3 niggas out of my top 5 that's my niggas. That's Face, Fab, Jada for sure.
That would be an awesome song to hear all 4 of y'all
You
on.
know what I mean? I'm a real big. Oh, that's coming. I'm gonna keep that undisclosed. That's done.
Oh,
That,
okay, I'm about to say.
yeah, and Benny the Butcher. Them one of my niggas. I
Oh
fuck with them
God.
just hell the niggas up. Them my niggas. Like everybody that I feel like is the kind of nigga in the pedigree I'm from. I feel like we all got that same bloodline.
So my thing is
So
about
yeah.
that though is when you have so many people, staples in the rap community that shout you out. Is there? What is your feeling about the rap audience? Like it's like, yo, are y'all catching up, or what is it? Because it's like David Banner, Scarface,
Mhm.
Slim Thug. I mean, when y'all was Boss Hog, y'all had a roster.
My
Like, you
God.
know what I'm saying, going.
Uh,
It's like you're looking at people where it's
that's my
like
brother.
I always tell people like with Scarface and Slim Thug, when you look at the artists, when Scarface was like, yo, it's the people that he brought over to Def Jam and the people that Slim Thug have are rap right now. Like that's really where a lot of those big names came out of was these guys saying like, yo, these are the ones.
So this the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You finish up, then I'll
Oh no,
talk.
no,
I'll
no. I
talk
was
about it.
saying, so what is your feelings in terms of because it's like you have had some you have this critical acclaim, but it's now getting to the sales and everything like that. How is it that you're here in Houston? Is it a Houston thing? Is it a what thing? What do you think it is? Do you think people are just the lyricism? What is it?
I mean, it's about being consistent first and foremost.
Mhm.
You got to understand the business as well and how to facilitate your music. You can have a good product, but if you're not getting that product to everybody, everybody's not going to know that the product is good. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes, I tell a lot of people, hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard.
True.
So, what I would like to say is, timing is everything too. You know what I mean? And it's what you put forward. You got to get out here and you got to hustle your craft. You got to hustle your music and get your music to the people to where they're gonna hear it. I accomplished getting it to the rappers, and now it's about getting it to the fans. And it's like a lot of people catch on late. A lot of people that's just not catching on, they go back and listen to all the abundance of music, and they be mind blown like the features that I've had, like damn near everybody that's somebody in rap, I got records with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? On my shit, where it was genuine. I ain't never paid for a feature ever. I've never paid for that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And it's just the fact that they appreciated my craft so much and my personality and my character that we built relationships and then we made the music. But the one thing that I want to thank God for was putting me around my brother Slim Thug. I thank God for that because as a businessman, man been a millionaire since he was 17 years old and
Mm.
ain't never missed a beat. In the 23 years I've been around that nigga, he ain't never missed a beat.
Not at all.
And he understood the business. And he also not just understanding that he's one of them niggas. He's the most consistent nigga. You know what I mean? He's extremely consistent on putting out the work and sticking. And he the one taught me, like, bro, you got to please your fan base. And once you please your fan base, your fans by word of mouth gonna introduce you to more fans. And
Mm.
that's the main thing. Quit depending on these major labels to do this when you got to get out here and work. Texas alone, we did numbers just here. The
Yeah.
world just kept caught up on when they came to Texas and they got tired of hearing who the fuck we was. Like, who is these niggas? Then when we leave and we go out, oh, you the niggas from Texas that they talking about. You know what I mean? And just understanding the business. Like you spoke on something earlier, and you know, this is the truth. I don't have too many words to speak on, and I'm a very outspoken person, but I've been learning you got to be quiet about certain shit simply because don't know. But it's like everything is controlled on what you say. Freedom of speech ain't really free no more. And I
Uh,
said that on Lorraine Motel. Freedom ain't free no more.
Awesome
yeah.
album.
It come with a price. It
Mhm.
come with a price saying what you saying. And like you were saying, we ain't gonna. I ain't gonna say no names on my end, but somebody was saying somebody canceled. You can't cancel that man.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing, it's no way you can cancel him. And I'm explaining you this why. When you start exposing certain shit and who controls certain shit, they don't want to hear that shit. The truth is one thing. People trying to keep the lie alive. Like the culture belong to us. And Slim just said it earlier. Like you can't call somebody a coon that's not getting paid off the people that's controlling the culture. That man don't. That man that made it this way. And then I tell people, listen at what that man told you 10 years ago what he was gonna do. La 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 la. Wait till I get my money right. La 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 la. Bet you can't tell me nothing, right?
True.
All that man shit from looking at the documentaries, and he told you exactly. And what I respect about that dude, he told you exactly what he was gonna do. It's about ownership. If we don't own nothing in this culture, how are we the culture and we own nothing? The coon is the one that's calling that man a coon. Them the coons, because he talking about ownership and he dropping gems on why we can't own shit. And to get off that and get back on my partner owner. Yeah, we went ahead and got a major deal, but shit, the nigga was already platinum before he had a major deal. So when niggas is talking about ownership, you can't call yourself the culture if you don't own nothing in the culture.
Definitely.
Nah, that's a big deal.
You dropping gems.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
so you know what I mean? Like a lot of people, and to piggyback off what you said earlier, like a lot of people, bruh, be trying to have opinions on shit that you take the shit too personal. I enjoy the music, even with the R&B guy that's locked up. I enjoy that man music. I don't give a damn about what they done personally. I think social media has made it where people get too personal with the artist. You want to be so personal. There's no mystiqueness no more in music. That's because people got too much access to artists right now. And it devalues and depreciates the music because you trying to know who they are personally. These ain't your friends. These ain't your family. You a fan to the music.
Yeah.
Enjoy the music. Fuck what they got going on personally.
See, I've always wondered, was it also given watching Slim and having that influence? Slim, and this was like maybe 2-3 years ago, had posted a video. And you know, we're in Houston, so I never really know sometimes what the outside community is thinking. And it was on World Star Hip Hop, and people was like, Slim still rap? And I was like, what are you talking? Yes, Slim still rap. But then you're looking and it's like, okay, some people in who knows where says Slim still rap, but Slim owns his record label, Slim owns houses, Slim owns his masters, Slim has multiple businesses. And then at a certain point, it's like, so what more do you care about? Owning stuff or whether somebody in the middle of nowhere is talking about you?
See, people value popularity more than they value the value of somebody. A lot of motherfuckers think popular, man, you can't deposit these followers. You can't deposit them likes. It's about who did it and still doing it. Relevancy ain't just being popular. You gotta have a relevant bank account. When you go look in that bank account and them O's match the followers, that's all the fuck that matter. And everybody try to say like all money ain't good money. That's broke. Them broke nigga quotes.
I like that.
Talk
Them
about
broke nigga quotes.
Let's talk about the album. We're talking about
let's get to it. Mike Jordan.
Jordan, what was your thought process when leading into this particular album? Because we've heard you on multiple albums. We've heard you on mixtapes. We've heard you on albums like Motel Rain, which you were talking about earlier. Fantastic album. What was your thought process into going into this one?
Pretty much it's like I approached it like Mike approached games. Like I said, I call myself the greatest of all Texans, the GOAT. Mike is one of the GOATs. And he has a killer instinct. When he approached the game and when he going against his competitor, which my competitor is me, I'm competing with myself. I'm gonna be better. I'm trying to be a better me. I'm trying to outdo my last shit. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to make classic and real good music at this time. And so in order to do that, I gotta approach it like how Mike did. Like on The Last Dance. I watched The Last Dance and I was inspired. Like I actually grew up and watched all these games. You know what I mean? I actually grew up watching this man. So lyrically, I feel like I'm there. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, so it's like, yeah, I'm finna approach everything like this every day. Like I have a format the way I record and the way I work. I like to do 5 songs a day
Mm.
when I'm in the studio.
Hmm.
And at the end of the week, I got 25 records. I pick the best 10 out there 25, put them to the side, repeat that the next week. I'm 100 records a month.
Damn,
And
man.
so what I do is I gotta pick out of that 100, I pick 10. So at the end of the month, I got 40 solid records that I feel like solid. And I got a 60 ball just sitting of they may be cool, they may be not. And I pick the best out of that. I do a project. You know what I mean?
Hmm. That's
And
how
so that's how I approached it. You know what I mean? It's like almost like how Mike approached trying to win an MVP,
Mm-hmm.
trying to win the scoring title, trying to win 6 rings, trying to get defensive player of the year. That's my approach with music. Like hard work be telling what talent don't work hard. And if you work hard, shit, the work gonna show that you've been working hard.
Hmm.
It really shows
And I
on the.
just want, yeah, definitely, but I just wanted doper shit. Like concepts. Every one of my projects have concepts. And it's
Mhm.
just I want to give the people a total package to enjoy the music, but the nostalgia of having something to attach to the music too.
No, that's perfect. I mean, but then the other thing too is like you think about and I'm gonna go back to it because you had mentioned it, Lorraine Motel. Your thought
Yeah.
process before going into that one, which is a high concept album as well.
Yes. It's just pretty much in 2017, the things that was going on, I feel like being rapper, we like I say, people take shit so personal. And this was a personal album for my people because we didn't have voices.
Mm.
In our culture right now, genocide running amok.
Mm-hmm.
Is running amok right now. And I blame the powers that be for that shit going because they remove love out of everything. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And we didn't have messages. We didn't have like self-destruction. We all in the same game. EPMD, Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teachers, people that deliver messages. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? We not allowed to be thought provoking. We not allowed to manipulate our people into understanding the message. You know what I'm saying? But they want us to manipulate our people with bullshit. No one was speaking out, and we need somebody to speak out at that time. The things that was going on with Philando Castile, the things that was going on with Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor's, and all that. In these past 5 6 years, they haven't been seeing what they've been doing to our people, and somebody had to speak. Even now, they profited off our pain. Black Lives Matter. That shit ran by Soros. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? George Soros. That's one of the creators of that shit. And people that don't understand that the system using ways to profit off our pain, and at those times, it was about to be another uprising. Well,
Mm-hmm.
damn, they get it now. You know what I mean? But the youth wasn't getting it. So I'm like, shit, how can I get my people to get it? Let me transfer this shit to the music and not on no personal level, getting on social media, just talking about it. Let me do it this way because you got to think how the Pied Piper got everybody to follow him. You dig what I'm saying?
Music,
You
yeah.
gotta use music as a tool to even get them to wake up because they using music as a tool to sell shit right now. Like designers, you gotta think back in the early 2000s, the 90s, we wore our own shit. Fubu was the shit. NYC was the shit. Pele was the shit. Cross Colors was the shit. All black labels. And now they bought all these labels to not because it was appreciated, they bought it to depreciate it and get us to go buy Gucci, to get
Yeah.
us to buy Louis. You know what I mean? And we focused on that shit more than anything. We focused on Louis and Gucci more than we did everything. So they pulling us away from us, for us, by us. They depreciated that shit so bad. It's in goddamn Walmart and shit now. You know what I mean? Shit that was making money like high-end shit. We wore our own shit. And you got to think, that correlates with music because we can't even talk about our own shit or talk to our people no more. Because if you say the wrong thing for and about our people, they're gonna call you anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that. When we talk about them, they've created terminology to protect them. You know what I mean? But we don't have nothing to protect us. You know, we can speak on killing niggas, we can degrade our women, we can do all that shit, and we profit off that shit to the point to where our women feel like they gotta talk about this type of shit to even get noticed now, to where you can't be a Queen Latifah, you can't be a Moni Love, you can't speak on positive shit no more. And it was like I got fed up with not hearing no positivity and not being able to talk to our youth. So I say, shit, let me talk to our youth. You know, even when you dig deep into these terminologies, you know what I mean? Anti-Semitic. That's about Afro-Asiatic people. Semitic. The Phoenicians, the Ethiopians, all that shit. Shit, you got to understand your history. And I feel like Lorraine Motel was so important because we do not know our history. Once we know our history and we know where we come from and how powerful we was, we'll get that shit back. You know, just like I said it on Lorraine Motel, Christianity crushed the unity. They fucking up our community. You know what I mean? I said that shit because they use religion. If you look at any black neighborhood, I did some on Instagram probably about two years ago. Really a little bit longer than that. I went in my mother's neighborhood, right? I say we have no thriving black businesses.
Nothing.
We're the only community within our cities that we don't have no thriving black business. Ask me what's a thriving black business in black community.
It's churches, liquor stores, and
church.
Yeah.
In a 2-mile radius in my mother's neighborhood is 47 churches.
Yeah.
Ooh. You praise in one God though.
I mean, you take it
church of business.
Yeah.
And I talk about that in Lorraine Motel. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much where the Lorraine Motel shit come from. Educating those that was uneducated. You want to know somebody to hide from a nigga, they always say put it in the book. But don't stop right there because they create books to throw you the fuck off and tell you this is the information because it's in black and white. Now we got smartphones. Now we can Google, but all this shit calculated. So what we got left to transfer messages? The music.
Yeah. Do you see? I mean, no, that's a gem you're dropping because I was always amazed when we talk about areas being gentrified, especially like our communities getting gentrified. A lot of times, it's churches that own whole swaths of land, whole neighborhoods. It's like, bro, oh, the church.
I'm going through some shit now. I'm going through some shit now in my family to where my family owned land and on side of, and the church buying the land. I'm trying to buy the land back. And the church buying it, but ain't putting shit on the land.
Yeah.
But they gonna sell it to other people for the highest bidder instead of keeping our community, us. You go to Chinatown, you got a Chinese gas station, Chinese grocery store, Chinese, everything. You go to a Middle Eastern area, Middle Eastern this, Middle Eastern that. All these people are coming in. You go to a beauty supply,
we know
owned by Asians. They can't use none of that shit in the beauty supply. You go to put a black beauty supply in there. Black folks won't even go to that.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, I mean, you saw the two young ladies in on the West Coast that started a beauty supply store, and the people that the Asian fronts that deliver products to them refused. Like once they found out they was black owned, they was like, "Oh no, we're not delivering to y'all no more."
But you selling shit to black folks, but
exactly.
Man, exactly. I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole.
No, I get it. I get it.
That rabbit hole.
We talk about the music,
but you know, even when we're talking about the music, you know, one of the things I noticed too, talking to your mentor David Banner when he was doing his album release party, is he did the club music, and then he went the complete opposite direction, and he's like, I did the music that y'all needed, and he go, I'll be real with y'all, y'all didn't want that, y'all didn't want it, you know what I mean? It's critically acclaimed, Y'all didn't want it. And now he seems to have shifted and he's like, I found a middle ground. Like with David, when he was like, yo, I took myself out of music and now I'm getting back into it. And the first thing
You have to do that.
you got to. So is that the same pathway that you're, because you did Hotel Lorraine, you've done club, you've done this. How is it finding that middle ground when you're speaking about the Queen Latifahs and the self-destruction and the, you know,
I'm gonna answer that for you beautifully. When you was 20, you had a different mindset than the mindset the grown man in you right now.
mm-hmm.
You can't talk about the same shit now you talked about when you was 20. If you talking about that same shit, you ain't no growth. It's no growth. As an artist, when you in a different financial bracket, this is what I tell people. They say rap dangerous, bro. Rap not dangerous. You create a dangerous environment with your raps. Bro, when you up all these millions, you ain't got no business talking about no project shit. You ain't in the projects no more. You done graduated to some whole more of the shit. When you in college, you ain't talking about shit that's in elementary school. It's growth. When you in middle school, you ain't talking about shit that's in elementary school. When you're in high school, you ain't talking about shit that's in middle school. Every chapter of your life is growth. You got to sit back sometime. We authors at the end of the day. We creating vibes and shit out of our brain. But in the same sense, you gotta straddle the fence of relevancy. It's a good way to stay relevant by showing growth. It's about the sounds. All you got to do is attract people with the sounds. Music is a frequency. Once you get people on this certain frequency and you tap into these frequencies, you got low frequencies and you got high frequencies. Music right now is in a low frequency. That's why everybody talking about the shit that they talking about right now, because of the frequency. You got to tap into other frequencies, but maintain that relevancy within that frequency in order to capture your audience in your ear. You can't chase sounds. Whenever you build your audience, your job is to be relevant to your audience by also tapping into other shit and introducing your audience into other things musically and other sounds to where they gravitate to that shit, and then they start passing the message. Nigga, you need to go jam this. Nigga, you need to go jam that. You ain't heard such. Boy, you need to jam that. And as you keep passing that baton, it keep passing and passing and passing. It's all about, that's what relevancy come from. When you've done so much in this business as a David Banner and everybody, you get bored with doing that same shit. You got to go tap into some other shit. What I'm an information junkie. I like to read and I like to see what's going on. And I transfer what I've read and seen to my music, and I start giving the fans a broader look on shit. And all I do is put that shit in the words so creatively and witty to make that shit jam. I play with cadences like I play with an instrument. Your voice is an instrument. All you got to do is know how to dance with that drum, and they gonna follow. And that's the thing about Mike Jordan. I got so many dope ass songs on there, but I'm showing you the growth. But I'm also showing you the growth jamming. And I went back the way I constructed the album. Every sample is within the era Jordan played in.
Oh, okay. That was by design.
Yeah. Every sample on there is 80s and 90s shit.
Yeah.
When Jordan thrived. Every sample. And they samples that I grew up on as well that introduced me into music. Samples are a real big thing within hip hop. You know what I mean? They start trying to get you to run from the sample, and within the culture, they start trying to make you detach from the sample and start making musicians feel like they shouldn't use that. They don't understand the culture. I remember at one time you couldn't get a Frankie Beverly sample.
Yeah.
Not at all. 50, the first person on Get Rich or Die Trying that used the Frankie Beverly sample and was allowed to use it because they caught up with the culture. A lot of the old guys didn't catch up with the culture until now that kept them relevant. Look at the Isley Brothers. This man just made a song called Boss of All Bosses with Rick Ross sounding like he 20.
He did. He did.
Look how music grow. That man, 80-something years old, been in this business 60 plus years. And still relevant as Mr. B's to this day.
Yeah. Finance wife. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on, man. That's the beauty of music, bro. Like, They try to put this age shit on everything and not understand that they do that to not make rap rock stars. We rock stars now. We pass rock. Look at the Rolling Stones. Look at Metallica. Look at Isley Brothers. Look at goddamn Frankie Beverly and Mays. These niggas is in their 80s selling out shit. It ain't no age gap. The music is that timeless. I try to make shit that's gonna stand the test of time. I'm not trying to do the right now shit. I want timeless. I felt like when I made Lorraine Motel, I said I'm gonna make something they're gonna talk about for 30 years. That's the impact that I wanted it to make. When I made Mike Jordan, I want them to be talking about this shit. Every project that I make now, I want them to be talking about this shit. I want it to stand the test of time. I want the sounds, because when you listen to a lot of records now and you listen to a lot of rappers, that shit not gonna stand the test of time. When you listen to All Eyes on Me, you play that shit now, that shit sound like it got made last year. You listen to Life After Death, it's gonna sound like it was made last year.
That's the time. Yeah. I listen
You know
to
what I mean? I can name so many of these records. And that's what I wanted when I approached Mike Jordan. When you asked me how did I approach it, that's how I approached it. Me, I'm a critical thinker. I'm always thinking, and that's why when I put my raps and shit together, I overthink shit. And so I want everything to correlate with each other. And that was my approach on Mike Jordan. It's so many Easter eggs in it, some bitch where if you listen, I want people to listen. Like when I go in a club or when I go somewhere and I'm in the building, I'm not in there half the time unless I'm getting some money, for one. And for two, I want to see what the DJ going. If you niggas can't go to nothing but one part of my music and you can't play nothing, bro, I got so much music. It let me know who's a fan and who's not. And I don't get upset with it. What I do is I introduce you to the music and I take you on that path of my music. And you're going to be like, God damn, you did this. You did this. This shit jamming. And I do that to myself a lot. I go back and listen to a lot of my shit. So what I did with Mike Jordan, I put that up against everything else I got. And then I gave you 21 records.
Yeah.
I made it to where I don't want you skipping nothing on there. Nothing. You put that bitch in and you press play and you get lost in it.
Now,
Definitely.
We don't have a lot of projects that do that nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
It don't have no life to it. Like it when you listen to a lot of shit, it's like you play it, I ain't going back to that shit.
Fast
You
food.
heard it one time. You heard it one time. I want to make projects to where when you cut that motherfucker on, you're gonna want to keep listening and keep listening and keep listening.
Yeah.
When you don't get tired of it.
Everything is a lot fast produced, fast fashion, fast everything is made to be thrown away. And you've been able to maintain longevity. Like you said, when you're going back, you're talking about early days of the S.U.C. You're talking about working with Slim Thug. You have been here, and you.
But think about it.
Go ahead.
McDonald's good as a motherfucker, ain't it?
That
Bitch don't taste better than the oxtails do it. It don't taste better than the oxtails do it.
But
that's
there's
because
a
soul food stick.
Yeah.
It's like you compare soul food stick to you. That microwave shit, that shit here today and that shit over with. But when you cook soul food, when you slow cook that shit gonna taste better, feel better, and they gonna sit on you.
Yeah.
And the words of
you gotta
Big
cook
Boy,
it like that.
Just like your mama's Sunday cooking turkey necks in the pot. So
Come on.
Glad.
Yeah.
When you look back now and you're looking at just the overall changes that are happening in music, particularly in Houston, what are the trends that you see, especially over this last, I say 5-6 years?
The trends that I see, I love what Sauce Walker is doing as a crew, because I love what Sauce Walker is doing. It's giving me the same vibes as what we did with Boss Hog Outlaws, where he bringing the crew and he putting his mans on the forefront. He using his relevancy to make the rest of his artists relevant. I'm gonna tell you the one thing that I feel like Houston got to do to get back to Houston, the DJ. I think everybody is not understanding in the past 2 decades what made us thrive the most was the DJ. DJ Screw, Michael Watts, OG Run C. You know what I'm saying? DJ GT, JQ, Oak Cliff. I can name so many dope ass DJ Chose. I can name so many dope ass DJs that facilitated the music. But in order to introduce you to the music, you have to get the DJs on board.
Hmm.
The DJ is the most important factor in hip hop because hip
Yeah.
hop was created by a DJ.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You covered that actually at your album
listening
release
party.
when you
At the album release party.
Yeah.
It's important. It's
Michael
important.
Wise.
The DJ start facilitating the music. A DJ breaks records. I feel like everybody got so complacent with social media that they felt like it gave you access to so many people, but that don't mean it give you access to the correct people.
Yeah.
The thing about having a fan base, you got to go out there and physically touch your fans. Like, I don't have to go to Chicago. I can get on the phone with people from Chicago and do a Zoom with people in Chicago. That shit cool, but it's not an organic meeting to where they physically get to see you as an artist and put eyes on you and physically be able to reach out and touch you. And that makes the music 100 times more dope.
Yeah. The thing about a fan base is that I mean, you break down the word, it's a fan base. Your base is your home.
Your base is your home. Just like you indigenous to whatever area you in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know, people look at the terms and don't peep the context clues about a lot of shit. You got to go create a fan base. You got to go to these regions and fully touch these regions and take your product to these people. Sitting on the internet, pushing enter on the email, and them physically seeing you and physically having, like those listening parties. I'm finna do them shits everywhere for people to get familiar with what I got going on. And if you physically hit the road with this shit gonna spread like a virus.
Okay. When do you plan on doing more of the listening parties? You have a schedule?
I'm working on that schedule now. Right now, we doing media to tap in to get media refamiliar with everything because media and what y'all do is just as important. I tell a lot of people be so arrogant and neglect platforms like y'all platforms because they feel like what I try to tell people, it's cool to want to go to Sway and the Breakfast Club, but you got to hit these B, C, and D markers harder than you hit them A markers, because what the A markers do is pay attention to the B, C, and D markers, and they steal from that shit, and they make that shit because they make everybody else do the work, and then they look at everybody else that do the actual footwork, and they grab what's popular out. Because the unpopular opinion is really more popular than the popular opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And you have a knack for listing good. I don't even know why they be unpopular. I was gonna give you your kudos, your flowers here, because you were one of the first male rappers in Houston that was like, I don't care if y'all mad about it or not. The women in Houston got it.
They rapping harder than the niggas. That's a fact. And not only is it a fact, I see this shit coming. Like that's one knack that I got on understanding and discovering talent. I told niggas 3 years ago, the women rapping harder than you niggas, and you finna see it. The women are more relevant than the men.
Oh yeah.
And they rap harder. Like I can line up a room and do a cipher on the men in Houston and line up the women. The women gonna tear them niggas a new ass.
It's true. It's been coming. Like I said, you said it at least 3 years ago, and then it's been a gradual, and you just been starting to see it, and it's like, and the women have been getting together. Like that's the other thing too.
Yeah, unity is very big. Like I say, the city, to get back to the city, it's a whole industrial thing that needs to be done. From media, from music, everybody need to make Houston the shit again by facilitating everything that's going on in Houston and coming together as a one. And Houston gonna be industrially like Atlanta, like a Memphis, because Memphis the next big bang right now. Memphis always been the shit, but right now they killing shit right now.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
That's because people that's big in Memphis with a big name, the people with big names in Memphis putting their city on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the thing I love about Atlanta, you can't come in Atlanta and try to break no shit from nowhere else. We breaking our shit first, and when we break our shit, We'll fuck with you, come to where you at so you can break us, then you can come back out here and break y'all. See, and I would see that for a long time. They've been loving the out of town shit more than they've been loving here because they ain't been able to facilitate shit here. So well, out of town nigga come here and be in paradise. No, it gotta be, we gotta look out for ourselves first and make ourselves the shit again. And us be on the same page. See, the thing about mountain climbing, if you ever know what make mountain climbing successful, and motherfuckers that climb K2, you know why they could successfully climb that motherfucker? Because when a motherfucker made it to the top of the mountain, they threw the rope down to pull motherfuckers up. And once they pulled motherfuckers up, they left a pathway for the motherfuckers to climb the mountain in order to get up there without killing themselves. That's why they can successfully climb the mountain. That metaphorically equates to what I'm saying about Houston. When you get to the top of the mountain, throw the rope down, pull somebody else, and make sure when you get them the rope, hey, throw that rope back down.
That's what y'all do. That's what y'all do. I mean, you
That's
guys.
what need to be done.
Yeah. In particular, I mean, Zero said it best. I'm from Houston, where niggas rather jam other out of town nigga shit instead. And it's like, come on.
But I'm gonna tell you, that's within our culture. When you go to the white folk and the Hispanic folks in this culture, they fucking with the shit still. They love Houston to the core.
Yeah.
I know niggas that ain't jamming nothing but my SA partners. They ain't listen to shit if it ain't Screwed and if it ain't from Houston.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was a one point of time, bro. If Screw didn't slow it down, we ain't hear that shit.
Yeah, that's true. You dropped so many gems on us. I really want to thank you for really, coming out or staying in since we do this on Zoom. Killa, where can we find you at?
Man, you can go on all my social media platforms, man. You can find me at Killa the Goat Kyleon on Instagram, at Killa Kyleon on Twitter, on TikTok is the same, and it's the same on Facebook, man. But yeah, man, go download that Mike Jordan, bro. For everybody that's just tuning in, man, I want to thank y'all for having me, man. And y'all been fucking with me for a long time, so I really truly appreciate that, man. And I'm always, anytime y'all extend the invitation, I'm coming.
Please. Oh, no, we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
That is awesome. And also,
Yeah,
whatever.
Man.
That's my favorite song on your album. Man, I love the sample. I love the beat, everything. But once again, this is another In My Humble Opinion podcast. My name is Avery, like a very nice guy. That's my brother, Just Define. You could find us at My Humble-O. That's, you know how to spell it, whatever. And if you're on if you're on YouTube, hit the like, share, and subscribe. Humbly yours.
That's a bit, man. Y'all take care, man.
H-Town's too sweet, man. H-Town
Love
is too